Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about and walk you through around the different technical strategies, right? So basically, those strategies are going to be and around multi-cloud, right? Now, those strategies around including the multi-cloud security strategies, basically for Azure, AWS, and GCP, right? Now, definitely, this is going to be a high-level strategy, and those strategies would definitely be different as in when we are going to deploy any solutions for cloud or within cloud, right? And if it is multi-cloud or probably a single or standalone cloud, be it Azure or AWS or GCP in this case, right? Now, and when it comes to multi-cloud, definitely there are different checks that needs to be checked and verified and matched, right? From security, compliance, governance, and regulations purpose, right, and perspective as well, right? And that is what I'm going to walk you through. And definitely, it's going to be a topic where you would wanted to understand, right, how you are going to start with and what are the things that is going to be give you the edge at least to begin with, right? So I'm going to share my screen and walk you through the presentation, which is going to be straightforward as well to understand, right? And that's more important, right? As when we are building multi-cloud strategies, those are the ones which we really need to make sure we do it correctly. And definitely that's not a one size fit for all, right? Because every organization, every business is different, and that is why they need to go through it and walk it and understand it, right? What it is and whether it aligns their business goals, business needs, and business requirements, right? So multi-cloud security strategies for all of these clouds at least, and not only for these, but any cloud provider, and starting from building, designing, developing, and executing those solutions and strategies, right? So let's go ahead and deep dive. So starting with intro or to understand what is going to be the importance of cloud security in hybrid or multi-cloud environments, right? To what are the business drivers, including compliance, resiliency, cost efficiency, right, along with the regulations for the business to meet, right, and the strategies phases, as I mentioned, building, designing solutions, and developing those across the cloud platforms, and how you are going to execute that strategy as well, right? So it looks pretty straightforward and simple, but when it comes to the execution of and building and putting that in action or in real time, definitely there would be so many things that you need to understand and make sure you are going to meet the compliance, you are going to meet the resilience, you are going to meet the cost effective or cost efficiency as well, along with how you are going to build that solution, right? Now, I have talked about different ways or different skill set on the another video about the cloud solution architect or our solutions architect on this one. But definitely people who are on expert level on different things, be it a single cloud or multi-cloud, right? Or be it a hybrid scenario as well, right? So they would definitely have understanding and definitely they will put their efforts to bring this on, right? But to understand and to start with, definitely this is going to be the start, right? So the first one or first phase is build, right? So how you are going to build the security strategy foundation. So starting with defining objectives and then adoption of different frameworks, right? So what is the objective of the business? To protect the workloads, meet the compliance of our business and organization, and overall how they wanted to go ahead and make sure they are compliant enough, right? Including GDPR, PCI DSS, HIPAA, or high trust, or any other, right? So that is the one that's going to align with their business organization or business needs, and then they are going to be working on that compliance requirements to meet. And then adopting the frameworks for security and compliance, be it a NIST CSF, CIS controls, or zero trust, right? So now there would be different controls or different frameworks that needs to be deployed and implemented from the day one when you are going to deploy solutions across the cloud platforms, right? You wanted to make sure normalize cloud security across all the platforms, Azure, AWS, GCP, or any other cloud platform, wherever you are going to use, right? And it is going to be the built-in uh, implementation, right? Built-in as in start from the day one, right? There is no excuse, there is no come back later scenario, right? We need to start from the day one and go ahead with it, right? And for example, to understand it better, I have put an example of bank here, which uses the Azure apps, AWS for AI, and GCP for any data pipelines, wherever they are going to use the capabilities of Google Cloud, right? So basically, this is how it is going to be, and that respective organization would go through the protecting workloads, following the objectives and frameworks and security parameters, right? And they would also deploy and implement everything together, right? So this is going to be start with and the security foundation. The next is designing, right? So you would come up with security architectures and governance, how you wanted to do that, right? Definitely governance is something you have to and you must do it, right? Which includes identity access management and networking, then data protection, compliance tools, right? Along with different scenarios wherever you wanted to use that and enforce those security measures, right? So let's say if you wanted to use identity access management, and definitely that's going to be the one of the perimeter where you would be using for providing access controls across the organizations and business systems, right? Now, this is a part of technical understanding or technical implementation, but still you need to understand at the broader level when it comes to deployment across the businesses, right? Across the business solutions, right? And how that is going to be helping business to be safe, secure, compliant as well, right? And that is why these are the technological things that is going to be back together and deployed it across, right? For example, network security is Azure. Under Azure Firewall, AWS has their own capabilities and GCP has its own, right? So wherever you are going to deploy, all those would be deployed across their respective platform, and that's going to help to protect and meet the compliance, regulatory, and everything together. Similarly, on the compliance tools, Azure Policy, AWS Config, GCP org policies for the respective platform, and one of the scenario you can say a SaaS provider enforces shared security using VNets and or VPCs for the respective cloud platform, right? So that's how it is going to be, and that's going to be used and provided, right? So this is all about the security designing and governance put together to be able to deploy it across and make sure that aligns the business. The next is developing the security practices and automation on the go, right? So this means that whenever you are going to deploy the security and compliance and you wanted to meet everything together, that's not easy to do it manually or one by one, right? You got to adopt the automation as well with the right set of tools and systems and capabilities that they do provide, including Terraforms and security guardrails. That's the one of the example, but definitely each system and each tool and service provider, they do have different tools and capabilities that they do provide, and we need to adopt them. We need to use them appropriately so that we have to deploy right set of solutions across the business, including DevSecOps pipelines with vulnerability scanning, which I was talking about, right? Starting from the day one, we need to adopt the cloud platform along with its capabilities so that we are going to stay secure and safe, right? Including automated remediations for misconfigurations. And we wanted to make sure each and every system which is built across the cloud or hybrid or multi-cloud or anywhere, we wanted that to be safe, secure, so that business does not fall into a situation anywhere, right, which is not going to be the right for business and end up spending a lot of money, right? So that's how it is going to be. And this is going to be the underlying foundation for the any technological innovation and solutions that we are going to build. And the next is execution, how you are going to execute, right? And how you are going to keep that execution, keep going, monitoring and everything together, right? So where we would put the secure operations together, and that's going to be implemented across the technological estates, right? So starting from centralizing monitoring and SIEM integrations, where we would get to see what are the systems which are built together and how those are working, whether those are in danger situations, and if instead of being reactive, we should be proactive to make sure we have appropriate controls and we are going to manage them effectively, right? Including vulnerability management, incident response, and key metrics as well, right? So we have to do and put all this together to be able to be a proactive and take the control of those systems, not being the reactive only, right? Or not to be a reactive instead of doing proactive, right? So that's how it is going to be providing the control, and we should be able to take the steps and take the control, complete control, right? And based on that, we should be able to run the show, right? Basically. So these are the different capabilities that we would be doing under the security or secure operations and to execute that continuously. So that's not one time fit or one time action. Instead, it's going to be continuous action, continuous improvement, and continuous capabilities building, right? And expanding those ahead as well. So, for example, a scenario where a retail giant runs a game day where which was a ransomware drills, right? Basically. So that was something that was a scenario that to identify and deploy, right? So that's why, or that's how it was drilled, or it was run for that respective scenario, right? So let's move to the next one. And here are the different approaches that I have put together for multi-cloud security, basically. So now these approaches couldn't be the same for every scenario or every organization, because each organization is different and unique in nature. They do have different business cases, business requirements, and business needs, right? So that is why this is not going to meet for each and every requirement and every business, basically. So starting with centralized Prism Cloud or centralized cloud management, basically in perspective and in context of security, all right? And from one single point, you would have a complete control and visibility to the systems, what's happening, what is there, what is running, what is not running, are there any situations or solution problems, and then you are going to use a different cloud native solutions, right? Those would also be helpful, right? Definitely on respective areas. And in a hybrid scenario, that's going to be a mix of central monitoring or centralized monitoring plus native deep controls for each of the workloads. Now that's going to be definitely be different for each scenarios or each use case, but definitely that's something we need to take and do the implementation and use it. So here you can see the different approaches that we definitely can go ahead and use it. And in summary, and on to skill building, definitely you can see starting from building, design, develop, and execute. All right. So how you are going to define the strategies align with the business goals, and then secure architectures along with the governance and development, including automation and DevSecOps from the day one, right? That's there is no excuse or there is no comeback or do later something, right? And then execute that whatever you have built and then design, and you are going to keep developing and improving on it. So you got to operate and monitor and improve continuously, right? And the last one is hands-on across the tools and systems. And then that's going to improve on your skills and expertise across, right? So that is how it is going to be. And this strategy is not only for improving the skills, but definitely it's going to help you to move ahead on your career level as well as across the roles and the business as well, right? So that is what I wanted to talk, and that was the complete overall picture around multi-cloud security strategies, how you can execute it, how you can go ahead and build that, and how it is going to be helpful, right? So helpful as an individual as well as on your role or any organization that they are going to adopt. Or definitely many organizations are relying on different or multi-cloud strategies, right? Now this was a part of technical aspect of it, but this was not a part of how it is going to be aligning and matching with the business, right? Definitely you can go ahead and match with the business needs and business requirements and business cases. And upon that, you would definitely be gaining the visibility, and then that's going to be something that business has to do something about it, or not only do, but they would decide whether this strategy or this planning is going to help business to adopt or not, right? So yep, that is what for this video. Hope you like it, hope you learned something new. Let me know if you have any questions, any doubts, anything that you wanted to ask, and I would be happy to collaborate on it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, so that you get to see every new video whenever it is uploaded. So that's all. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.